Okay. All right, everyone, we're gonna get started. Sorry about the late start. Technical difficulties and back end. So what we're gonna do is a little bit of a code along again, but first things off, I want to start by kind of giving you guys the rundown of the hack challenge. So has anyone heard of the hack challenge before? Okay, did we cover it? I don't know. Okay, basically what's gonna happen is that you guys are all gonna be put into groups. Typically in the past, we haven't had as many Android students as students in the other courses. So usually it'll just be like you on a project, but like we can do our best to pair you guys up. But basically, you're gonna be working with a group of other students in the courses. So like maybe one team will be like two backend students, an Android student, a design student, and that'll be like your little pod. So that's kind of how app dev is organized as well. It's just a bunch of people on different sub teams working on the same app. So essentially, you're going to be assigned an Android mentor, and then you're going to be able to meet with us, your mentors, and kind of figure out like what app you want to make. You're going to talk to your team about that. And then there's going to be some requirements. So we'll probably be able to go into it later. Actually, it's all in the textbook. So let me just pull it up real quick. And then it's not updated yet because um actually maybe it's not in the it is. It's not updated yet, but this is like the basic information. We're going to be changing some of it. So obviously the timeline is off, but you are going to have to figure out like what you want to do. Like two screens your app would have, and then these are like their prizes. So if you come up with a really good app, if you have a really good interface, you would be in the running to win one of these apps or win one of these prizes. And they're pretty cool. I think in past semesters it's been like a sun lamp. Um, I don't know, honestly, but it's pretty cool. So you get to really experience what it's like working on an app with other students.
I got like an email. I thought it was like a scam. Like someone was like, "Do you want to like join our team?"
Yeah, they might have started introducing it early, but we're supposed to have a meeting this week to kind of go over the final logistics. So really tune in next week about anything you have to do for that. So really the hack challenge is going to kind of run in parallel with our last week of lecture, I think. So you will have a midpoint deliverable for the hack challenge and then a final deliverable. And then probably the last week of classes, we're going to have like the final presentation. So everybody will gather in this room and we will kind of just present the awards. It'll be pretty fun. You guys get to see some really cool apps. So yeah, just keep heads up about that. And really make sure to grasp the concepts you're not grasping if you think, oh no. If you it's definitely gonna be useful in the hack challenge. Yeah. So for like, if we have like friends and other kids who are like who we are on the we in the past we've had like a preferences form, so you'd fill out like if you had friends that you wanted to be in a group with, and we usually do our best to honor it. But if your friend is in like iOS, I think in the past most groups did not have both an iOS and an Android member, but I guess this year things could change depending on the numbers. So just kind of we'll send out a preference form. We'll probably send out a mentor preference form also. So if you have a favorite TA, you can request them. No promises about that one though. So yeah, but we do our best to honor those. But otherwise, even if you don't have friends in other courses, it should be pretty fun. So just keep an eye out for that. Okay, so I'm gonna finish up my demo from last time, and then we're gonna kind of make this app together. I don't know how much you guys already did, but I think it'd be good to start from scratch and kind of just experience something else. And then I'm also gonna, don't look at that. And I'm also gonna show you guys like I mentioned in the last class that you're gonna have to use like a networking library. So I should have an example and it should be working, but if it's not, I'll post a working example after class. So recall that we're here. We have 3 fragments. This one we haven't done anything for yet. So pressing this button doesn't do anything. Switching the tabs doesn't do anything, but the factorial, remember we did We computed the factorial. And we also, I think we computed the Fibonacci number. But let's double check. Yeah, that seems pretty much right. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is figure out the tab layout. So last time, remember that I said we would send on, or we'd set like a tab layout, add on tab selected listener. And then I said, oh shoot, am I not sharing the screen? Helen. Might be everyone. Here it is. Okay, and then we said like how does a tab know which one to pull up? And that's why we are using the tab positions. So there we go. So every tab has like a position. Where is it? I think I'm on the wrong page. Has a position parameter. So it should say like, oh, here. So right now I'm just creating like a new instance of the other mini fragment, but it's just creating one. Like I need to reuse that fragment for all of them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the parameters in other mini fragment to kind of take in a number, which will be the tab position it's at. And then based on that number, I'm gonna change the text, change what the button does. So let's get started. So you can see up here, we have two private variables, parameter 1 and parameter 2. So these are the variables that you put into here. So when I'm calling new instance, when I'm calling other mini fragment dot new instance, I can put in two parameters, and that should help me like decide which fragment to display. But right now, both of these are strings, and I kind of want to put in like an integer, which would be based on the tab position. So I can do put int, and then maybe I'll call this, so that's named up here. So maybe I'll call this operation. And then let me see. I don't think this should be a string. I'm going to put it as 0. And down here, wait, hold on. Yeah, that should be right. Just kidding. Maybe it's not right. Sorry, guys. Let me double check something real quick. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to call this operation because I renamed it. And then parameter 1 will just, what did I change? Oh. It's actually supposed to be parameter 1 because all this is doing is renaming like parameter 1 to be operation. So every time I'm using operation, it's actually just representing parameter 1, which should be fine now. Oh, required int. Okay, that's the problem. So in here, you can see like parameter 1 is a string right now, but I want it to be an int. And then maybe I'll change this to 0. So essentially, this is going to be get int. Okay. And this is going to be operation. So you actually don't need to rename it from param1 to, or from arg1, arg param1 to operation. But I like to do it just, it's a little bit easier to work with. So essentially down here, I'm putting an integer with the key operation, which is actually just param1 in quotes. And then here, this is taking in whatever parameters I took or inputted for this other mini fragment. I'm going to put it into this bundle as the value. So then remember, anytime I want to get this value out, I need to get it with operation. So that's why up here I'm calling it.getInt operation, because that's the key that I put my value in with. And then here, you can see I'm getting an error now because parameter 1 is actually supposed to be a string. So maybe instead of doing that, I can do tab dot position. And then if that's null, I want to do 0. So here I was getting that red error that was just saying that this is like nullable. So, or it could be null. So this is saying like, if this doesn't have a value, then I'm going to put 0 there. Okay. So now that we figured that out, let's figure out our mini fragment. So we have this parameter 1 that we're working with. Let's first declare our, or let's find our, oh my gosh. Let's find our views and get references to them. So I'm going to refresh. Let's take a look at what we put on our mini fragment. I'm not sure if we put anything last time. Okay, we did. So what did I name this one? Other mini title, other mini result, and nope. And other mini button. Okay. So in here, I'm gonna do val other mini title, oops, equals text view equals view dot find view by ID, r dot ID, other mini title. And I'm gonna do the same thing for other mini result, text view, view dot find view by ID, r dot ID, other mini result. And I also need the button. Okay. Let me see. Other mini button. Okay. So now that we have that, I can actually start setting like the on click listener, but also I want to use these parameters. So what I need to do is, I need to do when, and I named it operation, or no, what did I call it? Oh, I called it param1, but maybe I'd call it, I want to change it to operation. Just kidding. I'll leave it as param1 then. Okay, when param1. So this is me saying like, oh, if param1 is 0, display this. If it's 1, display this. 2, whatever. So if it's 0, and if it's 1, and then if it's 2, oops. Okay. So, and remember from last time, I'm pretty sure we have to do like a true. Maybe not. I guess we'll see. So again, we're gonna do, in here is where I'm gonna set everything to say like add 1 and then tell the button what to do. So if we wanted to actually add 1 and not like subtract 1, for instance, I'm gonna talk to the button in here. So other mini buttons set on click listener. So when this button is clicked, I want to take the value in the operation mini result. That'll be my input. I don't know. Our input equals other mini result dot text. And I kind of want to parse this. Parse int. So this is just changing it to an integer. And then I think I need to do toString. Yeah. Okay. And then my actual result will be input plus 1. And then I'll just do other mini result dot text equals result. Just kidding. toString, I guess. Okay. So now when I click this button, it's going to add 1 to whatever was in it. And this time I actually don't want to let the user put in a number. I'm just going to start it at 0. So that's where I'm going to set in here other mini result dot text equals 0. It equals 0. Okay. And then the other thing I wanted to do was set the other mini title to equal add 1. Okay. And yeah, let's kind of take a look and see how it's looking right now. Okay. Okay. Seems pretty cool. Nothing else is working though. So that's where we have to kind of go with, do the same thing for the other ones. So maybe I can copy and paste. This will be subtract 1, start at 0 also, but this time I want to do -1. And then the title, I think this should work. And then same thing here, I'm going to do multiply 1, but that is not going to change. Hold on, what's going on? Is that the issue? 1 second, guys. Oh, I'm missing a. Okay, that's better. I guess I don't need to do that just yet. And then this will be multiply 1. And 0 times 1 is always 0. So honestly, I don't need to do anything in here. I can actually just delete this. This is just me being lazy, guys. But you're setting it to 0, you're saying multiply 1, and then your user will think you're multiplying by 1, which you are, because 1 times 0 is 0. Okay. Let's see if this works. There was some weird thing about like default fragments when I tried this. Oh, it's actually not working. Okay, hang on. Let me see. So when parameter 1 equals 0, when it's 1, when it's 2, other fragment, begin transaction, replace, other fragment container. Okay. Time to debug. Let's see. So when parameter 1, oh, do I need to change this back to null maybe? You know, when things like this happen, just do your best. Okay. I'm gonna log. Okay, so when I put it to 0, it just stays at 0, so it's not actually changing. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. Seems right. Other mini fragment. You know what? Let me just get you guys started on the actual coding part, and then I'll come back to this and figure it out. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to show you was the images, because I think you're going to need that for homework 5. Maybe I forgot to do commit. Okay, so this is like another version, but then check it out. In the other part, there's like images, right? And we're getting these from the internet. So what I wanted to show you guys was, okay, fragment other operations. That's what we want to call. So here we have, again, when your operation is addition, you're showing this text, and then this is the library that we're going to be using in homework 5. It's called Glide. You should have the starter code for this already on the textbook, but this is how you use it. So it's glide with, and then it's like this fragment, and then you're loading like the data. So if we look at this parameter, okay, just kidding. You're loading the data from like an image, and then this center crop is just like formatting. This placeholder is what is going to be in that image when your image hasn't been fully loaded yet. And then this is like what you're actually going to change it to. So it's pretty cool. Or this is where you're going to put it in. So as you can see, like, oh my gosh, as we are switching these tabs. Oh, shoot. Sorry, guys. As we're switching these tabs, it's changing the pictures as well. And when you see the black dots, it's because it hasn't loaded yet. But then like once you go back and forth, it's fully loaded. So this is how you're going to use that image library, or like you're going to use this to grab your images and use that networking that we talked about in last lecture. But for right now, I don't know how many of you actually followed along with this demo, but we're just going to redo the whole thing. Like from the beginning, we're going to do fragments again. This is because I've heard from some TAs that it just feels like we might be going too fast during demos. So this is where we're actually going to slow down and you're going to get to implement it. And then we're going to go through and kind of clean up any issues that we have. So for right now, I'm just going to go through the steps that we went through to code this last time. We first made fragments, and then we set up the layouts. And then after that, we started in our main activity and we set up our bottom nav layout. And we told it what we wanted to show when these items were clicked. And then after that, we went into our fragments and we kind of set up those functions like the factorial, the Fibonacci function. We found references for those views in the fragments, and then we set up the functionality within them. And then we tackled the tab layout and the fragment within a fragment. So that's kind of the order that I want you guys to try this. So start with making the layout and then start with main activity, then do our 3 main fragments, and then move to tab layout and our smaller fragments. Okay? And I can leave this up. I'll be playing with this to figure out why my tab layout isn't working. So if you have any questions, feel free to stop us, but start with this fragment, the layouts, and then slowly move to logic. Sound good? Okay. I'm so gonna debug this.
Wait, so what is the code trying to do?
Like it should be passing in. Hold on, let me mute. Bruh. really bad video. The issue I was having with my tab layout was that it was like appearing on top of each other, but now it's not. So kind of the way I worked around that, I'm not really sure why it's happening, but sometimes honestly I just feel like there's things that happen and you don't know why. Hang on. But you can see here, like I kind of had to delete all the text in my text views. So I just have like blank text views and like a blank result and a blank button. And then when I set them in my when statement, like I'm kind of setting them automatically. So it's not like hard coded into my XML. It's just what's going to show up like because I'm on this specific tab. And then the other thing I want to show you guys that you can do is here you can like programmatically set the tab to select a specific one. So right now I'm setting it to 1. So it should be selecting subtract. So when I go to this final fragment, it's on subtract automatically. And then maybe I wanted to show multiply automatically. And that's how you can kind of do it from there. So that is another functionality.
Did you open the solution on screen?
Man, I keep forgetting to do that. Okay, hang on. Sorry, guys. I swear there's no one as bad as CMSX as I am. Okay. It's open. Can someone confirm? Okay, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, what's up?
When I took a lot of, like, I just did like. Still need like,
Did you make a fragment or did you just make a layout? Okay. I'm not sure why that's happening, but we can,
I can call up and check.
yeah, take a look. And then I think that's all we're gonna do for today, honestly, because we kind of already did the demo on Monday. But one last reminder is that I will post this like glide code onto the textbook. And that's something that you're gonna be using in homework 5. And then remember to submit your stuff. That's how we're gonna take attendance today. Doesn't matter how far you got. And then keep an eye out for hack challenge stuff. That's gonna be starting really soon. But other than that, I think we're gonna close it off for today. So thanks for coming, guys.